Okay, YouTubers, this is the Younger Prepper. So today's video, we're going to talk about, can psychological inoculation start civil war? Now, I did a video on psychological inoculation a few months ago, right? And this is where they inoculate you against certain information. In this case, or rather the climate that we're in, they're inoculating people against the truth. So that means you can tell a lie and people are going to believe that over the truth. Whether the truth is revealed to them, they're still going to refuse to believe it. Even if you show them unequivocal facts or proof, they're still going to believe that lie because they were inoculated against the truth. So psychological inoculation is where you inoculate somebody against certain messages, right? So it's sort of like inoculating them against a disease or something like that, except for it's a psychological thing, and it's been proven to work, as we have seen over the last 2 years with Mr. 19, COVID. So a lot of people still believe that the arm ticket actually works because they were inoculated against the truth. This is something that we can absolutely see now starting to form or go in the direction of spreading more lies. And even when people find out the truth about those lies, they will still believe the lie because they were inoculated against it. So the lie, for example, Trump is a racist. That is psychological inoculation in itself, or proof that it is, because all they kept saying is that Trump is a racist. That's it. And people are like, he's a racist. No proof, no bearing, nothing as to why. There's proof that he's not. Martin Luther King's burial site, if you will, was attacked a couple of times. Trump steps into office and they ask him to sign this bill that would protect Martin Luther King's gravesite with extra cameras, high definition cameras, and armed guards. This, from what I was told, or read rather, was on Obama's desk, and Obama never signed it. Trump, the racist, walks in and he signs this without even batting an eyelash. You think the media talked about it? Nope. But nonetheless, when I tell people that he did it, everybody goes, no, he didn't. Psychological inoculation. So can we see this being used to start civil war? I think so. Because I am watching people, for example, with the whole Russian thing, believe that Russia is the savior of the planet. Not even the United States, the world. When in fact, Russia is using the same kind of psychological inoculation on its people and apparently Americans, because we have so many pro-Russian sympathizers. It's insane. But now, when this is used on the level of dividing us, which it's doing, it's absolutely dividing us right down the middle, can this start a civil war? Will we see civil war in our lifetime because of psychological inoculation? And if so, how do we break people out of that and have them join the fold? At the very least, examine something, information, and be neutral about it. Now, the form of psychological inoculation being used for civil war, we did see it, guys, with that QAnon people. You know those fucking assholes that fucking let the game play them? And they sat there and they believed all this other crazy shit that Trump was going to jump out of a plane and land in the middle of the inauguration, slap the Bible out of the guy's hand and tell fucking Biden to take a seat. Like, it was all this crazy shit that QAnon people were like saying. And a lot of you like people, who are QAnon? Just look them up. I think it's like it's QAnon, QAnon. They're a bunch of retards. Now, being that I know about psychological inoculation, I really shouldn't call them retards anymore because they were lied to. They believed it. Free thinkers, guys, there's a lot of us, not many left. Very few of us are left. And we're the people who look at the information and go, nope, nope, that's not right. That's a lie. That could be true. Let's see where it goes. Free thinkers are able to rationalize certain thought process and or rationalize situations and things that are being said. Again, when you listen to Russian propaganda, I know propaganda when I see it. But yet somehow people think that the propaganda that the Russians are spewing is real. And yet there are other people on the other side of that coin who see American propaganda and believe it's real. So we got two schools of idiots believing this shit, but because they're being psychologically inoculated, they can't tell the difference. And I fear even when telling them the truth, even when proving that this is American propaganda, that this is fake, or that's Russian propaganda, that's fake. That even telling them, not even telling them, just showing them actual proof, can they wake up? Now, there are some people who, when I told them about Trump letting the black lady live in the Trump Tower, or when he had armed guards protect Martin Luther King's gravesite, people go, oh. And so that right there was like a segue into pointing out more shit on why Trump's not a racist. Now, Trump is an asshole. That is undoubtable. That is, you can't even, that's not a debate. That's not a non-debatable subject. He's an asshole. But racist? No. Keep in mind, Biden was a racist. A bona fide, on camera and audio racist. There is proof of his racism. Proof. And yet people don't want to believe that. I told people that Biden made speeches against black people in his early days when he became a politician. And people said, that's not true. I give them the link to the stuff and then they go, oh, but he's better than Trump anyway. Psychological inoculation. They were inoculated against the fact that Biden was a racist, a proven racist, whereas Trump isn't a proven racist. There's not one thing you can prove that he's a racist on. And some people bring up Central Park 5, and I know the Central Park 5 are innocent, but during that time, that tumultuous time with the Central Park 5, the city was divided over that. So again, guys, that's not proving he's a racist. That's just proving that he, disagreed with what happened with the situation. Everybody disagreed with the situation, but whether or not the kids did it, that was the big fucking fight. Then come almost 20 years later, the guy who actually raped the lady comes to admit it, setting those kids free. So again, guys, psychological inoculation is very dangerous. And in the prepper community, it's dangerous in the sense that we got to be careful of the bullshit and the people we fucking listen to on here, especially the Canadian fella and the failed porn star with the crazy eyes. Because when you start believing their bullshit, when someone tells you, okay, this is not going to happen, because you should at the very least entertain the idea that it might not happen instead of saying it's going to happen. Here we are, 2023, and there is no nuclear war. No one's glowing in the dark. I'm not wearing fucking football padding and a fucking rifle on my back and fucking a scar across my face like a fucking Mad Max movie. It's not that way. So again, guys, there's a lot of things that we should be rational on. Yes, clearly, guys, a third world war, a nuclear war can happen any day. Clearly that can happen. That's not the debate. The debate is, it's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen today. When you listen to a couple of YouTubers, every day you're going to die. They're like, today you're going to die, your dick's going to fall off. Oh, that's it. That's it, guys. Putin said he's going to attack us. It's going to happen. When we keep watching these two retards, and specifically these two retards, we keep watching them because we're like, what? Now, I know a lot of you watch it for entertainment purposes. You're like, what are these two idiots going to say today? Right? As I know a lot of you guys watch me because you're like, what? How the fuck is this guy going to say what he's about to say? Right? So I get that. But when, guys, are we going to stop listening to the bullshit? When are we going to start not letting ourselves get inoculated with the bullshit and stand in the middle and do our own research? Now, what's hard about research these days, guys, is that when you go on Google, and hell, even DuckDuckGo now, which I'm a little disappointed in, when you do research and you're looking for the truth about something, they bury that shit deep. And so when you go on Google and you look up, for example, tuck-friendly kids clothing, they do have it. Now, found out that Target might not have been selling it, but nonetheless, the clothes does exist. And that's where the whole them selling tuck-friendly clothing for kids went into a debate whether or not they were. Right? So again, psychological inoculation also gets backed up by the fact that information companies like Google or YouTube, for that matter, they bury shit, they delete channels, they demonetize them, they try to silence the truth by telling you lies. So again, we still have to stay in the middle, guys, and find out what the truth is and not let these assholes inoculate us against the truth. Because this can start a civil war in the fact that more and more people are going to become irate, upset, pissed off, not believing the truth, split down the middle, Now you have two factions, in our case, 2023, or in this century, if you will, you're going to see multiple factions of people, groups all over the place, fighting with one another. You got, and the 2024 elections, it's going to be a wild year. That's going to be a crazy year because you're going to see people fighting in the street. You're going to see groups of people fighting with other groups. The Trumpsters versus the non-Trumpsters, right? The Biden supporters versus whoever the fuck runs for president. The DeSantis supporters. You're going to see crazy shit like that. We're going to see more hands-on events come next year. I can almost guarantee it. There is another proof, guys, that they're spreading more lies here in this country and or propaganda in this country with the Smith-Mundt Act of 2012, which was signed into play 2013. Now, this was an amendment of, and I have to read this, the United States Information and Educational Exchange Act of 1948. This was allowing disinformation and misinformation to be spread across the sea, across the pond, if you will, in other countries, not here in the United States. That act disallowed propaganda to be stated here in this country, or read here in this country, or spread here in this country. Its only purpose, guys, was to spread propaganda overseas, spread propaganda in other countries, to lie to other political leaders about what's going on here. That was in 1948. They amended it with the Smith-Mundt Act of 2012, allowing for propaganda to now be spread here in the United States. That in itself is a part of psychological inoculation. Anyway, guys, this is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.